How's it going, everybody? King Kapuka Kapono here today. We're going to be doing a little tutorial video. Today what we're going to be doing is preparing squid to be frozen and used in the future. Like back in the day when I'd buy squid, I'd always just buy it, take it out, and just use it. And usually by the end of the day it was all hamas and messed up, and you end up wasting a lot of squid that way. But if you prepare ahead of time, not only is it cleaner and easier to use when you get out fishing, but you can save it and not waste nearly as much. Oh, I just spilled all my salt, that's hurting. So what you need, you got your squid, got some salt, need a nice knife, and some Ziploc bags, and a water source. Okay, so it's all pretty simple here. I'm just gonna be cleaning the squid, washing it off, salting it, and putting it in a Ziploc bag to be frozen for later. So I probably don't want to totally gross out my cooler, so I'll just toss this squid right here in the grass. Oh, nice goopy, very cold squid. I let it thaw out a little bit already, so it's not totally frozen. And the parts of the squid that I like to keep is the tentacles, and then like the carapace, this shell part. All the guts on the inside you can save for palu or chum if you want later, but I never end up using any of that for any sort of bait. I'm just gonna sacrifice my cooler as a cutting board for the moment, and I'll wash that off real good later. So step one, cut off the tentacles, and then step two is make a nice long cut down the squid up to the base. This is the most squiddiest squid right now. It's so slippery. It's too slippery. Just wash it off. Wash some of that slip off. Get a nice cut all the way to the top. Then all this stuff in here, it's basically just all the guts and goop. You don't need any of that. There's a bone here that you can pull. It'll take all the guts out with it when you pull that bone out. Boom. Take that, put it into a Ziploc bag, and either save it for palu or throw it away the day you got it. If you're not freezing it, make sure you throw it away that day, because squid is the most grossest stuff once it gets a little rotten. One more thing I like to do is always take the skin off of the squid. All this does is just make a little bit of camouflage and kind of prevent some of that scent from getting in the water. So always take off this skin. It's on there for a reason. That's to protect the squid from getting devoured. So if you take it off, you'll make it more likely that it's going to get bit. Wash off your squid. Give it a little shake. Salt it a little. Oh, that's a lot of salt. Salt it a little bit. Nice layer of salt on both sides. Help preserve it. And then put it into your bag. I spilled half of my freaking salt, so try to put that back in there. Oh, those skills. All right. I like to double Ziploc all my bait because people don't like their freezer smelling all gross like squid and whatever. You can just lay them flat in your bag or let them bunch up. It doesn't really matter. If you want it nice and professional, you can get them flat like that. Okay, and then just boom, get to the next one. Wash it off first. It's gonna be less slippery. You're gonna have an easier time. I'm just gonna save all my tentacles in a pile. This one barely has any tentacles, so I'm just gonna skip that on this one. I need to sharpen this knife too. Been using a couple too many days out there. When you're doing this yourself, I suggest that you dry the squid as well. I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to be using this squid in the next couple days, so it's not going to get all gnarly and freezer burn like that. But if you're going to be saving it for a long time, the more dry it is, the less freezer burnt and hamas it's going to get as you keep it in that freezer. Yeah, it's just a process. As you go, you'll get, faster. and it is kind of tedious, but when you're out there fishing and you just open up your little bag and you got all your squid ready to go, you don't have to bother with freaking cutting it up and being all nuts on the shore. You're gonna be stoked. Yeah, this knife is definitely gotten a little dull. I think I'll do a sharpening stream or something. If you want, you're gonna like, you know what kind of hooks you're gonna be using. You can pre-strip the squid, cut it into the right size that you like. I know a lot of people do that. Or you can just keep them as nice flat things like this and then cut it to size when you get to the beach. Kind of what I like to do. I might be using a little excess salt here, but that's fine. I'm not worried about it. Make sure you get all this little bit of excess goop that's stuck to the inside out of there. Just gonna add more mess and not increase really your bait presentation anymore. Salt's just nature's most basic preservative, so put some of that on there and it's gonna last you way longer. Get less freezer burn and stuff when you put them in the freezer and all that too. The way I like to cut my squid, you got this backbone, you can always see it's got the little pointy part here. I like to turn it over so that that's on the bottom, and I cut down the middle so that when I open up the squid, that backbone's directly in the middle, and you get your nice big pieces of squid meat. Because where that backbone meets, it got that little weird kind of ridge there, and it kind of cuts the squid meat, so you can't have a big piece. I'll show you real quick what I mean. This part right here, that center line. So if you want a nice huge chunk and you cut it like offset, that might not be very clean. Alright, on our last squid. So this whole process has only taken me about 10 or 15 minutes. But it's gonna save you the load of time when you're out actually fishing. Oh look, there's a little freaking like sardine or something in it. Weird. Okay, last part is just to rinse all the tentacles real well. Try not to get them lost in the grass. This is kind of a gnarly part because they're so goopy, wiggly. Tentacles make super good whipping bait, so keeping them is a good idea. Use the rest of my salt on this. And if you want, you can actually separate, your tentacles from your skins or your cut up bodies. But since I'm going to be going out and using all this in the next couple days, I'm just going to pop them all in the same bag. Last part, since I didn't dry them off, I'm going to squeeze a little bit of this water out. But it's all salted water anyway, so it's pretty good to go. Boom, there you go, squid's ready to go. Nice and salted. Wash the outside of my bag. Get that all nice and clean. And that is some clean squid. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna double sack it. Boom, and this is ready to go fishing with. Nice and clean. Absolutely ready to go. Stoked. Okay, last thing to do, get all your trash and stuff, cram it into one bag. If you're going to use it as palu or chum, don't put all the other trash in it. But if you are not going to do that, throw this away right this second. Go and throw this away somewhere where it's thrown away and you don't have to have it in your yard, because within 2 hours that is going to become the stinkiest thing you've ever owned, and within 1 day all your neighbors are going to hate you because they're going to smell too. Right on, last thing I'm going to do here, clean off all my tackle box and stuff. I'm going to go get some soap from the inside, clean all this, make all the squid bits gone. And that's it. Okay, so now you guys know a little bit more about how to take care of your squid. You can cut those into smaller slices if you know what you want to do. You can dry them off and you can store them for a pretty long time like that. You don't even need to freeze them. If you dry them off and you just put them in your fridge because you just want to use them like the next day, they'll stay really well, or it'll stay like that in your fridge for a few days. But other than that, yeah buddy, see you on the next one, guys.